Hello there guys, what is going on? SonOfChelsea back here again for another edition of Let's Talk Chelsea. Hope you're doing well and keeping safe on this Saturday. Going to be speaking about Thomas Tuchel's comments surrounding Timo Werner's recent struggle on the pitch for Chelsea and his plans to get Werner back to his best for Chelsea. And as well, Billy Gilmour, an update surrounding his future in terms of going out on loan. But now it looks like he might be staying for Tuchel at Stamford Bridge. But before we get into any of that good stuff, I want to ask you guys, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Also, if you're enjoying the content, hit that like button too because it helps out the channel as well. So Thomas Tuchel, a lot of comments coming out. Obviously his first press conference on Thursday, and I made a video about that. Please go check that out, sort of reacting to his press conference. I was very impressed by what he had to say. But some more comments coming out yesterday from the media, I believe from that press conference that we didn't get to see, surrounding Timo Werner, the struggling German forward in front of goal for Chelsea at the moment. And with Tuchel's arrival, a big part of it is trying to get the best out of Kai Havertz and Timo Werner. Now, Timo Werner didn't play on Wednesday, as reported here by Jacob Steinberg in The Guardian, who says Werner was an unused sub when Chelsea drew 0-0 with Wolves in Tuchel's first game and has lost confidence in front of goal after scoring once in his past 16 outings. Rushed finishing has plagued the former RB Leipzig forward, who had a penalty saved against Luton last weekend, and his new manager sees a player who needs to relax. So this is what Tuchel had to say about Timo Werner. Why did I not use him on Wednesday? I see his face is a bit closed and the weight is on his shoulders. He cares a lot, and that shows he has a fantastic character. Sometimes as a striker it does not help if you care a lot. Sometimes as a striker it's better not to care at all. But he's not that guy. He cares and he's not happy with himself and the way things went lately. It's important to rebuild his trust in himself and to find that smile on his face and stop doubting too much. It's my job to help him with this, and also then to find a position where we can use his strengths. Can we develop movements, patterns, behaviour to use his quality in narrow spaces? That's my job, and I'm absolutely convinced we can, because the guy is open, the guy is friendly, and the guy is eager to learn. Once again, very precise answers from Thomas Tuchel. I think that's what's impressed a lot of Chelsea fans, including myself, in recent days regarding Tuchel's arrival. I'm really intrigued whenever he gets asked about players. He's quite open about them, especially from a tactical perspective. He does like speaking about tactics, as we've noticed already, you know, pretty much a student of the game. And what I love is when he's answering questions about, say, N'Golo Kante in relation to the double six, or Billy Gilmour, as we'll get to later on in this video, he's really insightful about where he sees them in his team. And I think that's really helpful, especially for me making videos about Chelsea, but just generally when we're speaking about Chelsea, I think there's a clarity there that I think has probably been missing in recent months regarding certain players and where they fit in the system. So where will Werner play? I think it's a difficult question to answer, because not only have we just changed managers and we have to see what Tuchel does in relation to Timo Werner. Didn't play on Wednesday, may play a part tomorrow against Burnley at home. I've seen him do well on the left. I've seen him do well up front too. I think what's intriguing to me is looking at Poulsen at RB Leipzig, the relationship he had with Timo Werner last season, and where you can get Timo Werner in the Premier League sort of succeeding. And I do more and more think it's getting him off a focal point, but then you do have to make sacrifices in maybe taking out a player like maybe Kai Havertz, maybe like Callum Hudson-Odoi, Christian Pulisic, just behind, say, the focal point, which could be Tammy Abraham or Olivier Giroud, especially against Luton last weekend when we saw sort of that striker pairing of Timo Werner and Tammy Abraham. Is that something that Thomas Tuchel will go towards? But there's a lot of excitement surrounding Tuchel and his involvement with Timo Werner at Chelsea Football Club because of his work with Kylian Mbappe and Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang at PSG and Borussia Dortmund in the past. Both had their best goal-scoring seasons of their careers under his tutelage. And looking at the profile of strikers that Mbappe and Aubameyang are, quite similar to Timo Werner in the sense they really rely on their pace and speed in behind. But I think the issue has been in the Premier League with so many low blocks, how to get around that. Now, in France, sometimes you will see low blocks too, and Kylian Mbappe is an amazing player and can get around that. I think for Timo Werner, it's all about confidence at the moment. I think he needs to get a goal just sooner rather than later to get that back up, because I see a player working very hard against Luton in previous games too. I see the right mentality there from Timo Werner, and I think with the style of play that Tuchel's going to try and implement, he wants players fully dedicated to the cause, players that can press, players that can work, players that can sprint, and I think that Timo Werner absolutely offers that. But now, speaking with Marius Fisher yesterday, it's that sort of expectation and understanding that Timo Werner is probably never going to be a Diego Costa, not just in terms of profile and the way he plays the game, but just in terms of being in front of goal and being deadly in front of goal. That's probably why Chelsea are being linked with Erling Haaland at the moment. But what really did excite me in Tuchel's comments there was patterns and movements and trying to get the best out of Werner and trying to orchestrate things to really elevate his game. So I think what we'll see in the coming weeks is hopefully Werner reintegrated into the side, maybe just off, say, a Tammy Abraham. I'd like to see that, or maybe as the focal point. We'll have to wait and see. Let me know your opinions on Tuchel Tuchel's comments here and the future of Timo Werner under the new German coach? Let me know in the comments below. And secondly, I want to talk about the future of Billy Gilmour. I spoke about Gilmour on, I think it was Thursday, wasn't it? Regarding Gilmour's sort of loan and all these reports coming out that he would be going out on loan. We have to go back to last Sunday, Frank Lampard's final post-match press conference, where he spoke about Gilmour, the option being open for him to leave on loan. And that stunned most of us because of his recent form, because of how well he played in that Luton game and being an option in the centre of the park. But of course, with Frank Lampard being sacked, everything's been thrown up in the air this week. But not only Tuchel's comments on Thursday were so enlightening and so complimentary to Billy Gilmour, which I'll show you now.
For Billy, the same in a different personal moment for him, because he didn't play the biggest role like Mason did in the last weeks. So maybe the decision yesterday for Mason was the toughest, and we spoke about this in person. And for Billy, I have a good impression. He is a very strategic guy. Very, very high level of game understanding. Very, very, very good in the first contact. Very, very clever in positioning. We see if he has the physical level on highest, or if he can compete in the center of the field, in the most physical league in the world. We will see that, but he is super quick, he is super fast with his feet, super fast in decision making, and very, 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 very good in positioning, like I said. So for me, we have right now 21, 22 field players available, play in 3 competition. There is absolutely no need that we have to get rid of players.
Which I think shows you Tuchel's knowledge of this player, but also this report here from Dan McCarthy, Simon Phillips, both friends of the channel. I've had them both on as guests before. They've got their own podcast now. They report on Chelsea, and I definitely suggest please go and follow their work. Follow them on Twitter. Great guys. They claim, I understand Billy Gilmour, after a discussion with Thomas Tuchel, is set to stay at Chelsea for now. I've been told that discussion focused on Tuchel's demands for Gilmour, and that a player in his position specifically, the player will be given a chance to impress Tuchel in training in the coming weeks with a look to break into the starting team picture at Chelsea. I'm really happy about this news because Gilmour, at least recently, has really excited me in that deep position in midfield. And with the talk of a double six, say with N'Golo Kante, and you're looking at who will partner him, I want to see Billy Gilmour be given a chance. And especially with the way Tuchel plays, or at least plays his central midfielders, and wants a playmaker type of player in that deep position, maybe alongside an N'Golo Kante, I think Billy Gilmour fits that profile. I know there's some doubts about his physicality, and I think that's something Tuchel was stressing sort of in those comments in his press conference. But I think about bravery on the ball. That's something Chelsea have lacked recently, and you even saw it on the game on Wednesday of, say, Jorginho, for instance, in that role. That's, I think, the fairest comparison we can make. Kovacic can be sort of that connector player. I think, he does it a little bit more advanced at times, and I know he did ask Jorginho and Kova to sit on Wednesday, but I think Kova, it's not as fair because Kova doesn't really be that sort of reduced alone DM. That's not what really he plays, but I think comparison between Jorginho and Gilmour is a lot fairer. But between them, I think Billy Gilmour's more in form at the moment. I think he's showing bravery and that creativity and preciseness on the ball that I just think that Jorginho lacks overall. I think there's too many times. There was one moment in the game against Wolves very late on where he played in Mason Mount, which nearly led to a goal. That's where you want to see Jorginho. That's what you want to see him doing. I think too often it's the safe pass. It's the pass that isn't that creative, isn't trying to progress the play. With Gilmour, I always see that. He's always looking for the ball. He wants to get the ball, and then he wants to move it quickly forward in a progressive manner. He doesn't seem too fast. If that risky pass doesn't work, he'll do it again and again, and hopefully it'll work out. And his involvement in the third goal against Luton really showed you how impactful he can be in the final third for Chelsea in creating a goal with Callum Hudson-Odoi and Tammy Abraham. I think that Tuchel may look at Gilmour as a player to take under his wing to really develop in his system. I wouldn't be too stunned if Jorginho is going to be playing a lot more now, given Tuchel's sort of insistence on having that deep playmaker there, someone who can control sort of the tempo of play in possession a lot more. It's more possession based, this system. So I wouldn't be too stunned if we see Kova and Georgie get much more minutes now under Tuchel. But I think that Gilmour, it's exciting to see him staying. Hopefully he does stay. A lot can change very quickly in the transfer window, as we know. But with him staying, I think he's going to get more opportunities and can develop into a great player for Chelsea. So that is it for this edition of Let's Talk Chelsea. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch it. If you did enjoy it, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Stay tuned because my preview for Chelsea Burnley will be out later today. Going to give you my thoughts ahead of that game tomorrow at the Bridge. Thank you guys for watching once again. Follow me on Twitter at SonOfChelsea, and I'll see you again.